All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I'm your host, Dara Whitman, and here with me is my co-host,
Cailin Clothier. But it's not just any episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. This
What?
is episode 50. This is our 50th episode.
What?
Yay, we made it. Half of 100.
Yay!
50. Good job, everyone.
We did it, everybody.
We made it.
All right. So before we get started, just a reminder that we are doing a live show
Yes.
at the Philly Podcast Festival.
Yes.
Saturday, June 30th, 5 p.m. at the Tattooed Mom.
Yes, which is a bar down on South Street.
Yes.
And it's free.
It's free.
You just have to show up and say hello to us.
Say hello to us, listen to us, talk about whatever we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Because who knows?
Who knows what that's going to be? But we're going to be there. And
We'll be there definitely Saturday. We might be there during the day. Or maybe Friday. We don't know yet, but we'll let you know when we plan that out.
yeah, follow us on social media and you'll be able to see what it is we're doing.
Yeah, so come check us out, guys.
Yeah.
So, guys, we finished season 3 of Orphan Black.
Wow.
How are you?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like when you said this, like, a lot happened.
So much happened.
So much happened, but, like, the ending kind of...
The ending, like, it wasn't as, like, wild of an ending as, like, season 2 was.
Yeah.
And, like...
But, like, I think, like, they revealed everything that they needed to for season 4.
Yeah.
And they, like, let's just end on a happy note.
Yeah, I appreciate ending on a happy note. That was nice.
I mean, we still got 2 more seasons.
That we do.
But on the plus side, well, we'll get to it. So, let's talk about episode 9 first, which is, Insolvent Phantom of Tomorrow.
Ooh.
What'd you think of this episode?
What happened in that episode?
A lot!
A lot did.
A lot!
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot happened.
Yes. So, if we want to talk about clones who did stuff. So, Allison didn't do much. She was in the episode, but she didn't do much.
Mm-hmm.
Allison didn't do much, but people around her do a lot.
Yes, like Donnie.
Like Donnie. And his story combines with Helena's.
Yes.
So, after, if you remember in the last episode, Donnie kind of got beaten up by Jason.
Yeah.
And so Jason says, like, I'm no longer, like, I don't, like, vouch for them anymore.
Right, so they're kind of being cut out of the drug business.
Fauci wants the pills back.
Yes.
And they don't have the pills at the store, at the house.
Mm-hmm.
But what is at the store is Helena's eggs.
Yeah, they took, yep.
They took her eggs as
Collateral.
Collateral until they get the money back. And then Donnie comes home and then Helena sees that he's been beaten up and, like, wants to know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And tries to, like, help out. And then Donnie reveals that they were dealing drugs and that they took the thing because he didn't know what it was.
He didn't know what it was, but she fills
And then she's like, oh no. So then they go to Fauci's place, bring the drugs. And he says he wants to get the eggs back and maybe their money back.
Yeah, he would appreciate the money back.
He'd appreciate the money back. And I'm inside my head, like, they're not going to get the money back.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
But they get the eggs back, which is good. And then he asks for the money. And as he's asking for the money, because basically he brings Helena with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then as he brings the money, like, Helena knocks on the door and, like, cups up her hair and pretends that she's Allison.
Right.
And they're kind of talking. And when he's like, I got the eggs. They ask for the money back. And they keep saying, like, they still work for Fauci, even though, like, they gave back the drugs.
Yeah.
And, like, they don't have anything to, like, keep them except for, like, saying, like, hey, like, you were a drug dealer.
Right.
So I don't get how that makes sense.
Mm-mm.
But but then they do threaten them and saying, like, we know where you live and we know where Gemma and Oscar live.
Yeah.
And that upsets Helena.
Yeah, you don't mess with the kids.
So she pushes Donnie out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of don't know what happens until she comes out covered in blood.
Yes.
With a bag of money.
Yep, and she's also carrying, like, the paper cutter knife.
Yeah.
Covered in blood.
She's like, I got you your refund. Mm-hmm. And it's adorable. And it's just...
Oh, my goodness.
I feel like...
oh, my God.
And then it's like, all right, we're just going to go. And
it's time to leave.
And that's kind of that for the most part. And they actually got, like, all of the money, not just, like, their money.
Yeah, so they got a ton of money.
So, we're good. I really like Helena and Donnie just, like, teaming up. Because he even says, like, oh, get your eggs back, like, your family. And it's so cute.
Yeah, like, they both, like, are very big into family, like, in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, they both just, you know, want to take care of their family.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
And, you know, and Helena will do anything for family, like murder a bunch of drug dealers. Because, you know they're dead. You didn't see the bodies, but they did.
They're dead. That's safe to say.
So that happened. So Cosima, you know, she doesn't do a ton either, but stuff happens with her, like with Shay and Delphine and that kind of thing.
Yeah, stuff goes down.
So Cosima reads Shay's file that Delphine had on her, and it's revealed that she was in the military.
Right.
Which, like, for a while I was thinking, like, okay, that's not really a big deal that she was in the military, but then I'm like, oh, wait, Castor's military.
Castor's, like, military associated, so if anybody were working, that'd be a good connection.
And, like, as we remember, there was, like, a rat.
Right.
Like,
who gave away the book thing.
Who gave away the book thing, and we know that Shay saw the book when she was in the lab.
Right.
And also knew that Cosima was sick, and
Correct.
which is what Rudy knew. Mm-hmm. So, we're thinking Shay's the rat.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
She seems nice enough, but she may be a rat.
Oh, so then Delphine goes to her apartment and gets all single white female. Or other movie like that.
Right.
Or their roommate. Mm-hmm. Guys, if anybody can find, I don't think you can find it, but I was in a trailer for The Roommate, not the actual movie. Me and my friends made a fan-made trailer. When we were like 17. And I just remember I was like the good roommate.
Oh,
and my
nice.
friend we had like this like puppet thing, and my friend was the puppet, and she made a really creepy voice.
Oh.
And then, because we, like, this weird thing with, like, ripping out the belly button ring. Yeah. So then my one friend was, like, being, like, the slutty friend, and then we just put one of my friend's belly button ring into the puppet's mouth, and then we just put a bunch of ketchup.
Oh, my God. Wait, is this, like, online?
I think it's on my Facebook. It might be on my Facebook somewhere. I don't know if my friend deleted it.
Oh, man, I have to find that.
It might be on my Facebook, like, near the bottom, because I think it's, like, around the time I got a Facebook. And then we pretended, like, because we had a guy friend over, and we had to get the girl attackers. We just threw the puppet at him.
Oh, my God.
And used, like, iMovie editing.
That's fabulous.
So anyway, Delphine. So basically, Delphine's just, like, not, like, basically being mean to her and, like filling up the bathtub and, like, has a razor blade and, like, was gonna kill her.
Yeah.
And make it look like a suicide. So that's...
Yeah, that was messed up.
Yes, Delphine's gone a bit crazy.
She's...
Like, I kind of understand, like, it seems like it is more just, like, trying to protect, like, what she's supposed to do and, like, her job.
But also she's a little extreme about it.
A little extreme about it. And then, because I feel like it coincides with Cosima's story. So Gracie's kind of been, like, saying goodbye to people because she said she has a doctor's appointment. She said, like, earlier in the day to Allison that she had a doctor's appointment. And she's, like, saying, like, goodbyes to people. Mm-hmm. And she calls Cosima, and it turns out, guys, Gracie's the rat.
Gracie's the rat, because they promised her that she would be able to be with Mark, who she loves.
So it's like, like, I get it. Mm-hmm. That was mean to do. And, like, it kind of made sense, like, if you watch, like, the last couple episodes, like, she's, like, kind of, like, hearing in.
Right.
But, like,
she's, like, there, but, like, she's not, like, active in all of it, but she's, like, there.
She's, like, there, but then you kind of think, like, oh, is she just, like, up worried about Mark? But then they do actually agree with her because Mark's there, and then they're reunited, and
they love each other.
They love each other, guys. Aww. Finally, some straight couples.
Finally, some heterosexuality in this show.
Because that's, like, my thing. I'm just, like, look, like, Grace, because, like, Gracie was, like, going on, like, the good path for a while, but, like, I understand why she did what she did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're just, like...
And she's, like, innocent enough where, like, she's not doing it out of malice for anyone. She just needs some stability in her life.
And, like, Mark loves her, too, and they just, like... They want to be together, and, like, you don't know if, you know. Mm-hmm. God, this poor girl. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of that. Do you want to get into the meet in London town?
Oh, yeah, we went to London.
Sarah and Mrs. S and Felix went to London.
Yes.
Because that's where they said the original might be.
Yes, the original caster.
So they meet up with one of Mrs. S's old buddies, Terry, to try to see if they can decode the rhyme. Mm-hmm. And we do learn that the number is actually like an old prison number.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah, so they're looking for like an old prison man. And then there's like some fun stuff for a bit. They're just like hanging out at the bar. Mrs. S sees some old friends. She gives a little concert.
Yeah, it's
while
cute.
Terry's getting beaten up to death.
Oh, that wasn't as
by
cute.
Ferdinand. Ferdinand's back, guys.
Oh yeah, that asshole.
Because they want to know like what. I guess like Terry like kind of worked with Ferdinand, but like wasn't giving anything away.
Right. Yeah, like they were definitely like in contact.
I wonder if
like,
like he has gotten in contact and said like, oh yeah, I'll give you the info, and then like wasn't going to. Because you don't rat out your friends, man.
Seriously.
And then they get to Terry's because they see they got a call, and he's just like beaten.
Yeah, just about to die.
And then as he's about to die, he whispers something in Mrs. S's ear, and she's like, "Okay, we're gonna leave now."
Yeah,
they're gonna leave now because like before the original plan was like they were gonna find the caster clone and kill him so that caster wouldn't have like anything.
Right. They can't continue their thing. They can't
weaponize.
Right.
Because we don't really want that.
No, that'd be bad.
So that was the plan, and then once Mrs. S hears what Terry had to say, she's just like, "All right, we're done. We're just gonna go back." So Mrs. S tells them to wait downstairs or back at the bar, and we'll leave. But before they leave, Sarah grabs Terry's phone and decides like, "Nope, we're gonna finish this," because that's what Sarah does. So she calls the number, and they get to this location, and they meet another guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Who they think is the first, like, the driver guy to get them to the main guy.
Right.
But he is the main guy.
Which is such a good cover.
It is.
Like a taxi guy. You're just like, oh, I'm just going to take you to where you need to go. Just kidding. It's me.
And he gets concerned, but then, like, basically they say who they are, that they're Mrs. S's kids, and he's like, all right, I'll get you to the location. And meanwhile, Ferdinand keeps following him the whole time, and but the guy brings him to the location. Felix is supposed to like be a lookout, and Sarah goes in and like is gonna kill the guy.
Yeah,
I think that's the plan.
Yeah, to take him out.
Yes,
you just gotta. Yeah,
and then
don't leave anything behind.
Ferdinand's still there, and he kills the other guy, the guy who drove them there. Yeah. That kind of sucks. So Sarah's like going through this like little apartment, and can't find the original, and then suddenly an old woman pops out.
Yeah, which is peculiar.
And she's a bit of a rough one.
Yeah.
She's a bit of a rough one. We got the name of the person they were looking for because they got the present name. It's Kendall Malone.
Yeah.
Which is Kendall a guy's name?
It's like unisex.
Okay. So they see the old woman, and Sarah says, I'm looking for Kendall Malone, and she's like, well, I'm Kendall Malone. Yeah. And you're like, what?
What? But that's a lady.
That is a lady. Certain lady, because then Mrs. S shows up.
It is.
Turns out, this is Mrs. S's mother.
Like, actual mother.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. There's a lot of twists going on.
That was interesting. That was so interesting to me because it felt like it makes sense later, like in the next episode, it makes sense like why it's all connected. But like it felt like a little too clean to me. You know what I mean? It felt like oh, this is somebody.
Oh yeah, no, I felt that.
It's like too connected. Like oh, that seems a little too.
Yeah, and like that always like really bothers me. And like we'll get to it like because like it does make sense by the end of the season. It makes sense,
right? But
like this, so that was a thing. So we find out that Kendall. Actually, we found out a bunch of stuff about Kendall here. So she's Mrs. S's mother, also murdered Mrs. S's husband.
Yeah, we found. Well, that's in the next episode.
No.
They say that at this episode. Oh, okay. Well, okay.
But like earlier in the season, we didn't really bring this up. But Mrs. S talks to Gracie about how her husband was murdered was like a drunk kind of.
Yeah.
And got drunk and got in a fight and got murdered.
Yeah.
And turns out it was with her.
The murderer, was the mother.
So that's what she went to jail for.
Yeah.
And then we also found out that Duncan went to this jail and like was doing research. He said cancer research, but like you know what he was doing.
Yeah.
And used Kendall, was like doing research on Kendall, and he found out that Kendall actually absorbed a male twin in the womb.
She's a chimera.
Hooray!
They say it differently in this show. They say like what
chimera?
Is it? Chimera.
Maybe it's like a
that's what Scat says, but I just chimera.
Whatever. Point is, so she is the caster original, and then Sarah also kind of brings up that Castor and Lita are siblings, so she's also the Lita original. There's only one original, guys, and it's Mrs. S's mom.
It's one person.
What?
Say what?
Because like Mrs. S is like this close to just like murdering her because she don't give a fuck.
She's like, well, we gotta take this one out. All right, let's take him out. Okay,
and then Sarah has to say like, oh no, but she's also Lita, and we want to cure Lita. So
yeah, so we actually need that.
And then that's the end of the episode.
Wild.
You didn't even remember it.
No, well, it's like I just forget like which episode was which, and so like yeah, but
So how are you feeling about all these reveals?
That's a lot of reveals, man.
Yeah, so Like the fact that it was Mrs. Mother was also the original. It was that kind, like before you saw the next episode where you kind of like, okay.
I was kind of like, well, that's a little too clean. That's a little like too much of a coincidence.
Because I had to wait a week and I had so many questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a bit too clean. And then I was also like, well, then wouldn't Mrs. S have known, because wouldn't she have looked like Sarah?
Right, like when she was younger.
Yeah, and then I'm also thinking, like, this show's smart. They're going to explain everything.
Yeah.
Which they actually do.
It's nice to, like, be able to have trust in a show where, like, they've done enough things right before that you're like, okay, I trust them to, like, be able to explain this properly. Because, like...
Yeah, because there's so many shows that don't.
Yeah, and there's so many just, like, it's like, coincidence. And you're like, that's just bad writing. That's just, like, you just did it because you could. But, you know, this show makes sense of all of it.
That's just lazy writing.
Yeah, but,
So, yeah, yeah,
it was interesting. The Chimera thing was interesting.
Yeah, because you thought it was going to be... I thought it was interesting that, like, they just had, like, one instead of, like, a pair of siblings.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's, like, super interesting.
I wonder if it's because they didn't want to cast two people.
No, well, it makes sense as far as, like, why you have to protect this person, but, like, why it's dangerous to have them around. So, like, makes it, like, for the plot, like, it definitely, like, ups the drama of, like, well, this is probably somebody that you need to get rid of, but also it's somebody you have to keep for this reason. And they're, like, the same reason, but, like, different. And so, like, that makes sense, and it's really interesting. So, yeah. It's good. It's good reveal. So, like, it's very exciting to see, like, the original.
Yes. Did you think we were going to meet the original? Cause, like,
I didn't think so.
Because, like, for a while we were saying, like, oh, that genome's gone or didn't exist.
Yeah, so, like, and, you know, the whole thing was, like, it's synthetic and everything. So, like, I knew it would come from people, but, like, I thought it just didn't matter.
It didn't matter they were dead, so, like...
Yeah, it just, like, didn't matter. So, like, I didn't think we would, and that wasn't something, like, I needed to see. But, like, I'm not mad that we saw it, though. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is interesting, but it was something that before this we didn't necessarily need to if we weren't going in that direction.
All right, want to get to the finale?
Yeah, let's get into the finale.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the finale.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the season finale of season 3. History has yet to be written.
Oh,
this is fun.
Let's get into it.
All righty then. So let us... Hold on. We're going to talk a little bit about Rachel, because she's in an interesting situation.
Rachel's in a very interesting situation.
She wakes up in a house. Somewhere.
Yes.
And it's stuck in a room. And wood. And
it's very nice looking.
It's very nice looking room.
Very fancy.
And she's got a science eye.
Yeah, she's got a science eye now.
Cyborg eye.
It's really funny though. I saw that eye, like the first thing I thought it was like the illusion. I was like, it's like those illusion fellas. So like, I'm smarter than I let on, guys.
Anyway,
thanks.
So we wonder where she is. We find out by the end, but we'll get to that. Actually, let's kind of delve into Sarah and Cosima a little bit, because they're kind of mixed, and then it kind of gets in with everybody else.
Right.
So Sarah is back.
Yes.
They're back from London.
Back from London.
With Kendall.
Correct.
And they're in Art found them. Art's back, by the way. He doesn't do much this episode, but he's back.
Nah, he's just there to help out.
They get a place where they can like have Kendall and like get out like tissues and blood so that they can, help cure people, cure Lita.
Yeah.
And I love this so much because one of the first questions that they ask is, why doesn't Kendall look like me?
Yeah, there's nothing like me.
And Scott explains it.
Yes.
Because he's a science guy. Basically, Chimera would be like, that's what she looks like. But if you separate the male and the female, they're going to look different.
Right, because because there's two different strands of DNA, but they present themselves in one way. So they kind of combine to make one. But then you can distract the individual stuff. And it makes Sarah and the other clones nice.
Yep, I love Scott so much because he like sees Kendall and he's just like the biggest smile.
He's like he's such a science nerd.
He is, isn't he?
What a guy.
But so that kind of delves in a bit too, and so that's them. And then they also realize that probably Caster knows, and they're gonna want Kendall,
right?
So we should also mention this. I forgot to mention Rudy's glitching a lot.
Yeah.
Probably gonna die.
Rudy's gonna, yeah. He's like, he starts glitching, you're like, oh, he's done.
Do you care?
No, good riddance.
Okay, good.
I didn't like him.
Nobody did. I only liked him because he had like the bad boy thing.
Yeah, if you like scars, if you're into like guys with scars,
actually.
Are you into guys with scars?
Dude, I don't know. Like, I think the only time I realized this was the Telltale game for Game of Thrones, and one of the characters gets like a really bad scar on his face, and it's like animation. I'm like, that's kind of hot. And he had an accent.
We learned something today, everyone.
Just depends on the scar. If it's like if it's kind of like your face is gone, but like a nice like, I don't know. Anyway, so they're trying to like basically they just want to get rid of Castor,
Right.
And so Sarah decides to team up with Delphine and Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Because he's there and they want to bring him in.
Right.
And because at this point they're just like, look, Castor's like, I mean, like, or Topside and Ferdinand are like the lesser of two evils, which is kind of true.
Yeah.
As of now.
As of this moment.
So they're like, we're gonna get the samples. We're gonna get these samples. We're gonna cure Lita. And if Castor gets to us beforehand, we're just gonna like burn it all. Mm-hmm. So that's fun. So that's the plan.
So they got a plan.
They have a plan. And Cosima, I forget if Cosima helps out with that. I don't think she does too much. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I mean, she does, because she has to get the blood from Kendall, and she's, like, being really nice. But before that, she sees Shay again, and Shay's kind of, like, none too happy.
Yeah, Shay's like,
as she should
what
be.
the hell? Get out of my house.
Well, she's kind of like, what, like, I feel like I don't know you, and, like, Cosima's like, why didn't you tell me you're in the military? It's like, because it's a fucking dating profile.
Yeah, it was, like, online dating, you know?
You fluff up everything, and I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think they're going to last. She was nice, though.
Yeah, she was nice.
But I don't think they're going to last.
Yeah, I don't think that is a steady grounds to build a relationship on.
Anyway, back to Sarah. So they want help. So Felix and Sarah go to this like hotel room that Art found. Mm-hmm. And Felix kicks in the door.
Like you do.
Like you do. And it's Gracie and Mark.
Yeah, just having some lovin'.
They're having some lovin'. And they said, like, we want your help and we're going to kill your brothers. Well, Rudy's only really the only one left. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just kind of like, because like at this point, like Mark, and it's like really sad because like at this point, Mark doesn't think he's gonna get a cure, and he's like, we just want to spend like whatever time we have left.
Yeah.
And then Grace starts crying, and they're just,
they just love each other so much.
And then he's like, well, can you help us, at least? And he's just like, and she's just like, and they're like, fine, and like apparently he has like other information about like where they are, which is Rudy basically said like they go after their weak spot, which is Allison.
Right.
So that kind of leads to what's going to happen with Rudy. But I would say this, like, if they can cure Lita and, like, if they can maybe find the cure for Castor, can they just cure Mark?
Yeah.
Like, I know he's done some bad stuff, but, like...
But it's Mark. It's fine.
He's fine.
He's fine.
Oh, I remember season 2 when you hated him?
Yeah. No, I've come around to him. Just because all the other Castor clones are terrible.
Well, they're all dead now.
Yeah.
So, Allison's on the campaign trail in a bus, and that's kind of her big thing.
Right.
And that kind of also, because a lot of it kind of coincides a lot. Mm-hmm. So that coincides also with Helena. So Donnie has a surprise for her.
Yeah.
And it's Jesse.
Like, that's
Jesse
so
Towing.
Yeah.
I don't know how they found him.
Well, I mean, there's probably not a lot of places called Jesse Towing, so you just give it a good old Google.
Yeah. But it's so cute. So cute. And they can't fight this feeling anymore.
Aw, and they, like, and it's so, and I wasn't sure, like, how it was going to be, where it's just, like, this is just a random girl I met at a bar, like, how's it going to be, like, being reunited? She's a little, off a rocker, but, like, he really cares about her.
He really cares. Like, he's, like, so, I don't know if he's, like, an idiot, because, like...
He's just into it.
But it, like, yeah, cool, she says, like, all of this stuff, like, that she makes soap now, and there was a prison break.
And she has a science baby
She has a science baby, and that he's her first, because they're about to do it.
Yeah.
And you're just like... And he's just like, you had me at soap making, and I'm like, you know what, fine.
Just let him be.
Just let him be, and they're about to do it, but then Helena gets a call and says, I have to help out my sisters, and I've been waiting for so long, but I can wait, and Jesse's okay with it.
Yeah, he's like, me too. And I'm like, oh.
Oh, he's probably had sex before, I assume.
Yeah, probably.
Rudy tails the campaign bus that Allison's on, but he's tricked, and he ends up meeting up with Helena, and they're going to have a prison fight, which they do.
Nice.
And then she stabs him in the bicep.
Get wrecked.
And he's also, like, super glitching. So, during that, they have a nice, like, somber conversation.
Yeah, just talk about how their childhoods were terrible.
And then he dies.
Yeah. She calls him a rapist, and we're like, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And then he dies.
Like, I know the women technically consented, but
they didn't really.
They consented to the sex. They didn't consent to the getting sick.
Or, like, the occasional threesome.
Yes.
That was weird.
I'm wondering if, like, the first woman, because, like you said, like, the first time he brought a woman saying he was sick, and that's how they figured it out. I'm wondering, like, if they just didn't know, and that was actually consensual. Mm-hmm. But, either way, Rudy, R.I.P.
Rest in peace, you rapist.
Do you want to talk about Delphine?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
What can we say about Delphine in this episode?
So, she's at first doing a lot of stuff with the caster stuff.
Yeah.
Or not the caster stuff, like trying to get them arrested and like that kind of thing. Which I forgot to mention. Well, I can bring this up bring this first up. She's with Rachel checking like her brain stuff, and then Dr. Nealon leaves. And then, Crystal wakes up.
Yes, because it's Crystal, not...
And Delphine's getting suspicious because, like, she, like, looks at her hands, like, her nails are, like, really good.
Yeah.
But then Crystal wakes up, and then Delphine realizes, like, oh, this isn't good. Right. And then Nealon's probably involved. Mm-hmm. And gets that arrested. Before that, let's finish up, actually, the caster thing. So, they get Mark, they beat him up.
Yeah.
And he supposes Rudy to Virginia, basically saying, here I am.
Yeah.
Virginia goes there, gets arrested by Ferdinand.
Yes.
And they're all good. Mm-hmm. And then Ferdinand comes back with Kendall, and because they said, like, the deal, I think the deal was, like, you help us get rid of Castor, and we will give you some of the blood.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Delphine goes to see Dr. Nealon, who's been arrested, and basically says, like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up with that?
So they're talking, and basically, Nealon basically says that, like, all of this is Neolution. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of like, what? Because, like, Neolution was, like, the pop science, like, name for it. And, like, that's what Dr. Leakey was doing.
Right, and it was Dr. Leakey. Dr. Leakey's dead now, and it doesn't really matter. But does it?
It does, actually, because it turns out, like, Topside's, like, kind of part of this. And Neolution is the bigger thing.
Right.
It's, like, the big thing.
It's the thing that's kind of working behind the scenes of literally everything.
Yeah, and it's, like, there's, like, more science than they can even imagine. And, like, Castor and Lita were, like, they're Adam and Eve. So, basically, Neolution's God.
Yes.
And essentially. Yeah, so that's, I feel like that's kind of this is like the big, like, here's what's going to happen in season 4.
Yeah. And in that, he kind of mentions that, like, or who's talking about, at some point they're talking about Neolution, and they're talking about the Duncans, and they're like, Neolution got to the Lady Duncan, but, like, not Mr. Duncan.
Well, there's a conversation with Kendall that's actually pretty interesting, and we'll get to that ending bit.
Yeah.
But before that, so, Dr. Nealon attacks Delphine, and, like, for a while, like, you see, like, he's, like, doing something with his mouth.
Yeah.
And then blood comes out.
Yeah.
And, he just got a bug.
There's just a bug in there.
Yes.
What's it doing there? What is it?
Cailin, that's a really good question. So, anyway, Delphine just, like...
what? It's a bug.
It's fine.
What?
It's fine.
Oh, man.
Anyway, but Delphine shoots him, and he says, you won't last till morning.
Yeah.
Which is, like, so foreshadowing.
Which is a little, scary.
But, so Delphine finds the bug and calls Sarah before, Ferdinand can get all the blood, and basically says, like, it's all Neolution.
Yeah.
And tells Ferdinand Rachel's alive. Because he didn't believe that, because he thought she was dead.
Right.
So then Sarah does that, and that's saying she was with Neolution, and, like, you're getting glimpses at, like, Ferdinand's, like, bodyguard.
Yeah.
And then he just, like, beats him with a bat.
Yeah, and they're, like, talking, and they're discussing everything, but all of a sudden, like, no!
And it seems like Ferdinand's, like, kind of a good guy, because he's just kind of like, you protect your thing.
It was so interesting. That was such an interesting kind of, like, shift in the character, because, like, I thought, like, Ferdinand has been played off, well, he's been killing people, as, like, this really bad, like, not good dude. Mm-hmm. And, like, also kind of a creep, and also, like, he's kind of a skeeve. And but yeah, as soon as that happens, you just say, it's like, oh man, I'm tired of all these I'm tired of all these monkey fighting Neolution on this Monday to Friday plane. And then he just starts beating the shit. He's like, all right, I'm gonna take care of this. This is gonna get messy, y'all go. And I was like, what? This is such a weird shift in character, but it was really funny. Like, it was kind of funny and entertaining how it happened. So, like, that was very interesting.
I think it's just kind of like he kind of goes, like, whatever, like, the smartest move. And, like, at this point, it's kind of, and, like, he feels like he's been screwed over.
Yeah.
So, it's fine. So that's kind of like the end of the big stuff.
Yes.
But then we kind of see actually, I like this bit because it kind of explains why the stuff with, like, Kendall being the original kind of makes sense. Because they have a conversation about that she obviously, they used her cells and stuff, and then Duncan came back basically saying that Neolution like got into all the science,
right,
like that kind of thing, and that he corrupted. They corrupted his wife.
Yeah,
which is funny because like they didn't say like they killed his wife. She said corrupted, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
And that he basically that he just wanted to like get out of there and hide. Oh, that Kendall was a secret that he didn't even tell his wife, so only Duncan knew about Kendall.
Right.
And that he wanted to hide so then he sent her to Mrs. S, and also basically said there is a clone in the foster system, and also sent him.
Yeah.
And basically said like I sent her to you because that's a piece of me. So it kind of makes everything makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was. So you're okay with this?
Yeah. So it made a lot of more sense when it was like. It's like, oh, working with Duncan, there's a kind of a rogue clone out there who, what should we do with her? It's like, oh, yeah, we'll give him to, like, the one person I know who can take care of it, my daughter. Like, oh, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
So, like, it all kind of came around and made a lot more sense.
That's all good.
Yeah. So we're good.
And then we get the 4-clone/family dinner scene.
Yeah, which is nice.
Which is nice. And we learned that Allison won the school trustee thing.
Yay.
Or I don't think she won. They said she beat Marcy Coates.
By, like, 52 votes. But that's all that counts.
So, I don't know. Who knows?
Pretty sure she won.
Hooray.
Yay.
But I wonder if the scene was harder to put together than the dance number at the end of season 2.
I feel like this was probably easier.
But there's more, there's still like more people, and you gotta like sometimes like you have to like just have a scene without Tatiana Maslany like being one character.
Yeah, but I don't know. It seemed easier because like everyone wasn't like moving. Like they weren't dancing, and like the camera wasn't as like didn't do that rotating shot, which probably took like 5 years to accomplish.
That's
with
true.
The other thing. So
I just figured it'd be harder because there's a lot more people.
I think it would have been easier.
Maybe. Who knows? I didn't actually research into that, but so yeah, there's a nice it's a nice dinner scene. Meanwhile, like Delphine's kind of doing a bunch of stuff. She's like saying she goes to Shay and apologizes and gives her this card, but saying if the next time you see Cosima, give it to her.
Yeah.
And she can tell you everything if she wants to. You guys make a good fit.
Yeah.
And then she goes to see Cosima real quick and basically take care of yourself, and they have a kiss, and it's so nice.
Aw,
I hope nothing bad happens.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like it's leading up to anything bad.
Were you expecting this?
Well, she was like Delphine was like giving things away. She was like definitely like making her rounds as like final rounds. So like yeah, I had a feeling.
And then she gets to a parking lot and she drops her bag, and I think she says, "Well, Cosima, be safe," and then she gets shot.
What you say?
How are you feeling about that?
Well, of course. I'm like, I don't know.
Why? Well, actually, let me finish up the episode real quick, and then we can talk about it. So, we go back to Rachel, and we see her with Charlotte. Charlotte's there.
Yeah, little girl.
And they said you're my new mom. And she's like, what? Who said that? And it's like, the Professor Duncan. And you're like, wait, but Professor Duncan's dead. Unless there was another one. Spoilers, her mother's alive too.
Her mother's alive.
Hooray! And then we end on a happy note with, we go to Iceland, and Kira's there.
Yay!
And so are Sarah and Mrs. S and Kendall.
Yes.
And they're all reunited.
Yay!
And that's the end of the season.
It was finally like a happy end to a season. Mostly happy. There are some things where you're like, oh.
Okay, so you want to talk about Delphine?
Yeah, we'll talk about Delphine.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that scene just feels unfinished to me. I feel like there's more to it.
Because I was going to say, did you see her die?
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I'm not totally convinced. I don't know. You're convinced
somebody shot her.
Yeah, well, no, she's definitely shot and bleeding. But, like, I don't think, doesn't mean she's dead, though.
No, does it? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. Like, I'm not convinced that she's dead. I mean, I think she needs help. I think somebody should help her, but
if nobody helps her,
then she'll die.
Then she'll die. But yeah, that's the end.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
What else? I was confused about the Charlotte thing because like Charlotte comes back and she's like, "Oh, you're my new mom." I was like, "What happened to your other mother that we saw?"
That's a good question.
That we saw at the end of season 2. I haven't seen her like all season.
That's a good question, Cailin.
Where is she?
Good question.
Where is she?
Good question. Anything else?
I was probably the thing I was most confused about. I was like, what do you mean new? What happened to your other? Where is she? I haven't seen that lady like all season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question.
those are the biggest.
But a lot of stuff happened.
A lot of stuff. Yep.
Castor's dead. Basically.
Yeah, essentially Castor's gone.
So what do you think of the season as like a whole?
This is a good season.
Yeah. Do you think were you surprised like where stuff's going? Because like they introduced like the idea of male clones, and then most of them get killed off.
Yeah, but like it didn't feel like it felt like they spent a sufficient amount of time on it. Like with the whole season arc is pretty decent for that. Mm-hmm. So like. Yeah, I'm not sure. Once this whole series is done, I look back on it, then I'll probably be better able to say like, oh, I wish they spent more time on it, or they spent enough time on that. So, but I think it's smart for them to go back to the Neolution thing as like an antagonist, because that was something that was kind of in the first season. But like it coming back, I think is cool to wrap back around that and kind of do some more exploration on that. So like, yeah.
Yeah,
I like where they're going, and I like how they've handled things.
They're kind of like because for a while it seemed like not like separate, but like seemed like fairly separate. Like
right
in like the first season, it was like you're discovering yourself, but the main villain was like Helena and the Proletheans, and then it's like Dyad and it's Castor, and like they're all seem very separate. And now it's kind of like besides the Prolethean stuff, but like now it kind of like seems like this is just like and it kind of does like what shows are supposed to do. Like you get bigger,
right? Yeah, but like. You get bigger, and so far in the show, like with each season, it's like at the end of the season, it's like the season finale reveals like another villain, and so far these have been like relatively new things that we didn't know of before. But now we're kind of circling back to something, and so it's cool that we're getting bigger with something that we're already familiar with. So yeah, that's nice.
Did any of the reveals like not do it for you? You're kind of like, what? That doesn't make sense. Or like, did everything kind of work out? Or, like, is anything you're still kind of like, I don't think that worked, or, like...
There's things that I'm confused about, but I'm not going to write them off yet.
Like...
That was the Charlotte thing.
That's the only thing?
It's the biggest example, I think. I can't think off the top of my head, but the other stuff that I'm like,
Do you have any, like...
But there's nothing that I was like, that's dumb yet. We'll see what happens when we get to season 4.
Yeah, I mean, because, like, I'm trying to think. Because, like, I'm wondering if there's a good, bad, ugly with the season. Because, like, I did really like a season. And going back, I kind of liked it a bit more. But, like, I still kind of enjoyed season 2 a bit more. But I think it's because, like, that was, like, super fast-paced.
Yeah.
Because if you think about, like, the first, like, 4 episodes of the season, it starts off pretty slow. Mm-hmm. And, like, my thing is just kind of, like, I don't mind if a show's, like, starts off slow as long as your payoff's good. Like, I think the payoff was good. Mm-hmm. So you're pretty okay with like finding out like what Castor was like doing and that like they're despicable people,
right?
And that kind of thing. So, but I don't know if I'm like looking back. I'm like, do I like a season more than season 2 or 1?
I think I like season 3 more than season 2.
How come?
I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of why, and I have to kind of rehash season 2 a bit more, but. Just something about I feel like things were pretty gelled this season. Like things kind of like knew like their place, and because season 2s in general, they're always like trying to fill their own shoes, kind of. They're like, okay, people have this expectations for the show now, so now we have to kind of go through with it, and there's kind of more pressure to like keep the momentum from the first season and everything. But like by season 3, it's like, okay, we know what we are. We're just chugging along.
Yeah.
So like so everything just felt kind of more solid for me. In this season, but yeah. So we'll see what stacks up. Do
you have any predictions for season 4?
I want to see some weird and freaky body mods. Let's go. We're going with the Neolution train.
More bug things.
I'm not sure if I want more bugs, but I'm certainly curious about what other creative things. I just think it's room for some kind of creative concepts and such. So yeah, I want to see what kind of weird stuff they're up to.
Well, you kind of also wonder, like, with Neolution, is it just like Neolution? Is there going to be like a STEM person for the season that like we can like focus on, or is it going to be like a bunch of people?
I don't know. Well, it kind of looks like they're shaping up to, because they killed the one dude, but yeah, Mrs. Duncan there, Professor Duncan. She seems like she's in a position to be a big bad there. So we'll see.
Could be. You never know.
So we'll see.
Do you want to do a comment corner?
Let's do a comment corner.
Okay.
This is from a reaction. I think this is our season 2 finale reaction.
Okay.
From Roger Shiro, who says, "Great work as always. Thanks. Please do Westworld next. Or
oh yeah, we've been getting a lot
Valley.
of suggestions.
HBO has some great shows. That we appreciate the suggestion.
I think somebody else has also commented they suggested Sense8, which is actually a show I would love to do on this show.
I would actually really love to watch Sense8.
I've never watched it either.
I have not seen it.
I think it's a show we'll definitely do. Just one of us has to decide
who's going to be the first person.
Yeah, and when it comes to HBO stuff, I actually haven't seen Silicon Valley. I've seen some Westworld, and I know like it's that thing that's like it's really slow, and then once you get into it, it's a lot better. So I'll do that eventually.
Yeah.
And yes, I know HBO has a lot of good shows, and once a specific fantasy show ends next year, we're definitely going to do that show. Just saying, guys. So get excited for a year from now when we get to that, because we're going to do that show.
Yeah.
But thanks for the suggestions. I think like the biggest problem with suggestions is that like we don't actually tell people like what shows we've seen and which ones like we haven't.
Right, and that is kind of part of our whole thing is that one of us has to have seen it, one of us, has to not have seen it.
I feel like at some point it's gonna get to the point where like we pick a show and one of us just like goes through it. I will say like if for suggestions, guys, pick shows that like have ended.
Yes.
Like I looked at the show Bitten, which like somebody's just did several times, and that show's technically done.
Right.
So I think I'm willing to do that show. It looks interesting.
Yeah. So so definitely pick shows that are done, and preferably shows that aren't super super long.
As of now, not super super long. I think at one point we'll get to like super long shows.
Yeah. So don't tell us to do like Supernatural.
But that show's not done.
Exactly, because it's super super long and not done, and God, somebody just ended already. Jesus.
I guess you can see who's a fan, guys.
Anyway, I feel like I watched 8 seasons of Supernatural. That's enough.
I feel like the only show I can think of like that we're gonna probably I want to do soon is Once Upon a Time, which actually just ended. Oh, but that's like I'm so excited.
That's a long one too.
That's like 150 something episodes.
Yikes!
But I'm so excited because that's just a show that started off good and then just like, and I'm so excited because I feel like that show's gonna make Cailin mad at some points.
I already feel that. Like, I've seen, like, snippets of the show, and I already know it's going to make me mad about things. I just, like, know. Like,
I like the first 3 seasons.
All right. Well,
and I watched it for, like, 4.5. And then, like, I've been catching... Anyway, but that's a show we're also definitely going to do. I don't know when, though, but we're going to do it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think we already have our next couple picked out.
We do.
So...
I might change my mind with one of them, but I haven't actually picked out... I haven't found another show that I want to do that's, like, not... But I might just stick with that one.
Yeah, but like I'm excited for us to do more shows. But like if you have some that you want to see, like let us know. We may not pick it just because of the format of our show, but we'd like to hear kind of stuff that you're interested in seeing. So let's see, let's go next. We have a couple more from Eddie Yemi or Eddie Me. Eddie Mai. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to help me out here at some point, buddy. This is from probably I think our season 3 premiere. There's an Orphan Black Helsinki comics. Also, when the show is finished, they released a book called The Science of Orphan Black with contributions from Cosima, in quotes, the real Cosima Hader, the show's science advisor.
Yeah, I forgot to say that to tell you the science advisor's real name is Cosima. And yes, there is a comic about Helsinki, but I would suggest because the only thing I could you could probably don't read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to avoid spoilers.
Just to avoid, there's like some, especially with like season 4, I would say, and then there's like other comics which don't read yet.
Okay.
You can't read it. Nobody's saying anything else about the comics to Cailin yet until we have to finish the show.
I'm not listening. I also have another comment. The caster clones are also referred to as mark faces. Heard that one. Steve. Hey, Steve. I always like your icon. Says the scorpion's name is Popok.
Yeah.
Which translates to belly button in Ukrainian. Thank you. This is B.A. who says, this is one of our season 3 reactions. You guys should react to Sense8 next. It has a very similar feel to Orphan Black. We just talked about that.
Yeah, I think that's the, because they're doing like a movie thing coming out soon. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to be the end of that show. Mm-hmm. So, but I definitely would love to do that show. And
then we have a couple comments, but those are from other... not Orphan Black videos. So.
They're like the Channel Awesome stuff, right?
I think we had a couple Channel Awesome ones. By the
way, can we talk about how like Channel Awesome's still like okay?
Yeah, what's up with that? Like, I
don't know.
They were gonna like go under, but like
they're not.
Doug Walker's just walking around like nothing happened. I'm like, buddy, you gotta look around.
And like Guru Larry,
everybody left.
And like Guru Larry and Brad Jones still on there. I have a feeling Brad Jones because I think he like took off all of the. Like stuff for Channel Awesome on his website. I have a feeling he's got some contract problems with that.
Yeah. So we'll see where that's going.
But I like the one guy. I think one guy. I don't know if it's still on the page thing. But he left a comment about like subscribing and stuff.
Oh yeah, we should probably do that.
We should.
Oh yeah, that comment's still there.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Tony. We saw that, Tony.
You want to read it or
no?
Oh, it's too long.
It's long.
It's a long comment, but thank you. And
thanks, Tony.
Yes.
All right. Anyway.
So is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Guys, we're done season 3.
Yay!
On to season 4.
Oh man.
You gotta wait a month.
Oh yeah.
And we gotta plan a live show.
Yeah, we have a whole live show to plan, which, as we mentioned at the beginning, Saturday, June 30th, 2018, 5 p.m. Tattooed Bomb in the
for the
city
Philly
of
Podcast
Philadelphia.
Festival.
Philly Podcast
If we're going to be there any other days or during the day on Saturday, we will let you know.
Yes.
All right, so that's the end of this episode. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please subscribe. We want to get up to 400. Hopefully, we might be there by this point.
Yeah, that'd be
Who
rad.
knows? And leave a comment, positive, negative, fun facts, goofy facts, whatever. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Turn on notifications because I hear that's not doing great.
Yeah, so hit that little bell
Feels
thing.
like YouTube's not doing that great in general.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're on iTunes, so please subscribe to us, Witty Clothes Productions. Subscribe and leave us a rating and a review would be lovely.
That would be fabulous.
We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Witty Clothes Productions. Like us, comment, leave a message.
Yes.
Why not?
Do it.
Twitter at Witty Clothes. Tweet at us, follow us, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Patreon, patreon.com/Witty Clothes, and we would love to have some more money so that we can do more podcasting stuff.
Hell yeah.
So I have way too many ideas for podcasts.
Too many, but like in a good way.
It's in a good way, and some of them are going to, make Cailin feel ridiculous, and me too, so it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a good time.
Going to be a good time. And if we have an email, wittyclothes@gmail.com. If you just want to email us,
say hi.
say hi.
I appreciate that.
Any questions? Who knows?
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
All right, that's it.
Okay, so for this episode, I'm Dara Whitman.
I'm Cailin Clothier.
Peace.
Peace.